Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, getting ready for my live stream. Getting ready for the live stream here. We literally have an hour and a half before we kick it off. I hope you guys join in. I'm trying to do a few new things and stuff on here on the screen. You know, we're trying to get a little bit fancy up in here, and I got this package right here. I got to open up. And it's got a few things for some of you guys in there that are in that. And of course, we have the one, the only Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, who says, I ain't got time for a bad time. Jerry Jones is definitely feeling it today because, you know, earlier he was talking about Des Bryant is a pain in the ass, but brings a lot of joy and stuff. But Jerry Jones, I've got to actually, I need to find the vocal for this because today, this one is actually quite fitting. He was talking about how game day excites him. He loves game day, and he's up in Baltimore and everything else. He says, well, I do. It never stops. It's like, let me see if I can get into Jerry Jones speak. Well, I do. It never stops, son. It's like you picture Dracula. Let me start over. Stop. Well, son, I do. It never stops. It's like you picture the Dracula laying in the casket. He said the Dracula. And the lid flies open. And straight up, he rears up. Oh my goodness. That's me. So I'm so excited. I'm excited about going to Baltimore. And as Cowboy fans, I gotta tell you, Jerry Jones has sucked the life out of us. That's what we all understand now. He is a modern day vampire, literally sucking the life out of us. So he's excited about game day. But another thing that he talked about here, which makes you kind of go, he said this. This is what he said. I've always handicapped to some degree Dak because of the fact that he's so effective and has, as he has been in his running career, in the running game. His ability to take it down and get big plays and get those yards. So I'm like, you're handicapping him. Excuse me? He's making big plays. You're giving him credit for making big plays, but you're saying you've always handicapped him. So he goes into it a little bit further. I've always known that he couldn't do that for long in the NFL. You can't do that. Yeah, but right now he is, but you also see him evolving as a better passer, where he is now at passing the football versus his rookie year. Definitely. He doesn't run as often as you think. He doesn't run as much as, say, Lamar Jackson. But then he compares, of course, Dak to Russell Wilson. The quarterback in Seattle is the best I've ever seen at sustaining success with his mobility. But he is sure good at it, and he sure has gotten, if you notice him, boy, does he not get hit with that full impact. And so Dak can do that. Dak will do that, and he can evolve to where he just will take less and less hits. And he has to do that. He has to do that, or else he won't have, or else we won't have him to play. In other words, he's going to say he's got a shortened life expectancy. Then Jerry Jones, he was feeling it today. He threw a little shade at Carson Wentz and stuff. They came out at the same time. And this gets to be confusing a little bit because I've read this a couple times and I'm kind of like, I'm not sure I get it, but maybe you guys can. I will read it to the best of my ability. He's talking about Dak and Carson Wentz. They came out at the same time. The comparison. Let's just compare them. Both played in the Senior Bowl. We coached the Senior Bowl and coached Wentz. You didn't coach Dak as well? Okay. And then the basic Senior Bowl staff all agreed they thought the best quarterback prospect down there was Dak. So your coaching staff thought that Dak was the better prospect. So, and because of just the direct comparison between the two, so they have always had, and then the fact he was the first player picked in the draft. He wasn't. He was. Jared Goff was first. Has always been there. It's a fair comparison all the way through. On the other hand, you see the guy that is having problems getting the most out of what he does good, his mobility. He really has impacted his game because of injury. He's talking about Carson Wentz here. I think that if you look at it, it's hard to look at his years, his early years in the NFL, Wentz I'm talking about, and not see the injury has done with him. Most of the time, it was him trying to tuck it up and get some extra yards. He does have a very good point there because Carson Wentz was not the same after the injury. He was not the same. And it seems like that mobility and being able to move around the pocket, as Philly 500 says, run, fat man, run. So you put in there the knee injury, which I think also attributed to the back injury, which was followed behind. Because what happens, here's the thing. When you get a traumatic injury and getting a knee surgery, I learned this myself. What happens is your body compensates. So I tore my ACL in my left knee in high school. Played college football, ran track, did all the things and all that. And it's still, to this day, do not have an ACL. And did not have problems with that knee until I had a flesh-eating bacteria in the other knee and had 3 knee operations. That knee caused me to spend 6 months learning how to walk again. And what happened is, because that leg was weak, I always lean on the left leg, which has made that leg worse. And then I have back issues because now my alignment's different. So it could be conceivable that Carson Wentz, because of the knee injury, ended up shifting his body where it started messing with his back. And now that mobility is not there, and that was part of his game, and he's lost confidence, where he feels as this rush starts coming in there, the walls are closing in on him, and he's like a deer caught in the headlights. And takes the sack. Doesn't have the confidence. And you're thinking about getting hit and getting injured and things like that. But to Jerry Jones's point here, to me, if I'm reading between the lines, this is saying Dak Prescott's my quarterback. I may be wrong. The vampire is sucking the life out of all of us right now. But basically he said that I believe he will. Let me go back because I want to make sure. I don't want to misquote him. I don't want to pull a Skip Bayless here and make up lies. The quarterback in Seattle is the best I've ever seen at sustaining success with his mobility. But he sure is good at it and has sure gotten, if you noticed him, boy, he does not get hit with a lot of impact. And so Dak can do that. Dak will do that, and he will evolve to where he just takes less and less hits. And he has to, or else he won't, or we won't have him to play. We won't have him to play. So if you're saying that he's got to learn this, or else he's going to get injured and he won't be there for us to play, that's pretty much saying Dak Prescott is my quarterback and is coming back. That's the way I read it. Maybe you read it differently. You tell me. I think that Jerry Jones just, in a way, said, we're going to keep Dak Prescott. I think that's the way it works. But we'll divulge into this a little bit later. But Jerry Jones, the vampire. I think I need to get some vampire music now. Yeah. All right. Peace. See you guys. 7:45.